When it comes to The Mandalorian Season 3, I think there was a lot of good moments in there. It just wasn't tied together right. I think the beginning was good and the ending was good, but there was just way too much filler in the middle. And it seems like the easy fix would have been just taking what was done in Boba Fett and making that the start of the show, then making what was originally the beginning of Mandalorian Season 3 and putting that in the middle, and taking out both episodes 3 and 6, which were pretty much heavily filler. So I think if they did this is what the season could have looked like. Episode 1, this would basically just be the Book of Boba Fett Chapter 5 taken and put as the season premiere of The Mandalorian Season 3. It could start off with Din serving a bounty at a meat market, him finding the location of the armorer and Paz, finally meeting up with them again, and Paz challenging Din for the Darksaber. After Din winning, we could see him revealing that he broke the creed and removed his helmet. We could then see him taking the space bus to Tatooine and meeting with Peli Motto to build a new ship. The episode could end with the iconic test flight sequence, just like the pod racing scene in The Phantom Menace. Now episode 2, this would be chapter 6 of the Book of Boba Fett. Another little change here I'd make would be kind of cutting the parts out of Din trying to go and see Grogu, which didn't end up being successful. I think you could just focus on the moments between Luke and Grogu, maybe even get some more scenes in here, and their initial training, just to kind of show what was going on in the brief time jump between season 2 and season 3. Next, we would have episode 3, which could be a combination of the Book of Boba Fett finale and the season premiere of The Mandalorian Season 3. Here we could see Grogu reuniting with Din, the two of them briefly visiting Navarro, and then going at the end to find Bo-Katan in kind of her new hideout, where she would give them directions to Mandalore. And just a side note, the change between episodes 2 and 3 here would be pretty drastic, because you have Grogu all of a sudden just leaving Luke, but I'm not rewriting the whole season. I think maybe a better explanation could be given here, such as something came up for Luke where he had to go on a secret mission or something like that, and he contacted Din to take Grogu back in for just a short period of time before he could restart his training. Episode 4. This would originally be Mando Season 3, Episode 2, which I think was really a strong episode. This was where Din gets trapped on Mandalore by the Grievous-like creature, and Grogu has to go back to Bo-Katan in order to have her come and save him. And this is what sets up her getting the Darksaber later in the season, and the episode ending with Din bathing in the waters to get his forgiveness for removing his helmet. Episode 5. This would originally be Mando Season 3, Episode 4, where Din would travel back to the Mandalorian hideout to get his forgiveness. It could also follow the storyline of Grogu officially becoming a Mandalorian, which triggers his flashback sequence to Order 66. One of the really dull parts of this episode was the dragon side plot. I think this could just be removed entirely from the episode, and more time could be spent on Grogu's flashback sequence. And if they also needed more quality time for the episode, I think another interesting thing would be seeing Bo-Katan have a flashback sequence after getting some sort of new armor from the armorer. And this could be either something from the Mandalorian Civil Wars or something from her childhood that could be seen in live action for the first time. Episode 6 could originally be the 5th episode of the season, which followed the pirate attack on Navarro, the Mandalorians deciding to come and help, and Greef Karga rewarding them land after returning the planet to the people. And the end of the episode could hint at Captain Teva finding out that Moff Gideon was free. And I think the last 2 episodes could be left alone, with Moff Gideon always being in Mandalore and the Mandalorians eventually overtaking Mandalore. and celebrating their return to their home. I think some of these changes wouldn't be drastic to the overall writing of the season. I think all in all, just switching a few of these things around with the context we were given, this version would have turned The Mandalorian Season 3 into a B or a B plus instead of the C minus version that we were given.